And one point Arden has made, and that is, you said relative risk. I think we've become, and Suresh has implied this, but we've become married to relative risk. My God, don't we have any other ways to look at this data and present it? I think we've really become so wrapped up in the model that it becomes the message, and we need to be taking a broader view of it.
Hold that as a general point. I think Mike and then George and then lunch.
Okay, I'll try to be as quick as I can. I guess first a response to Rodger on the issue of why air pollution is important compared to other risks. Air pollution affects everyone in our society. Smoking does not. So a very large relative risk on smoking, if the prevalence of smoking as it is in California is 13 or 14%, may have a lower burden of illness across the population than a smaller risk that affects the entire population. So,
I fully understand that. One of my parents died of COPD, one died of lung cancer. You probably have no ardent, spokesman anti-smoking than I am. You're missing the big picture, Michael. The big picture. I'm not talking about smoking. I'm talking about all those other risk factors that fit in, and most importantly, income.
Well, I guess with all due respect, Rodger, I think that nobody's been more comprehensive at looking at the relative contribution of all those risk factors in air pollution studies than I have. So,
unfortunately, you don't always report them in your paper. You said I analyzed for them. Put them out in front so people can see them and understand them.
Oh, they're there, but you have to look more carefully.
How important they are.
But
okay, do you have another different point?
I have one
Mike?
important statement that was sent to me by the American Cancer Society, and that is that the American Cancer Society appreciates and fully supports the value of independent analysis, particularly when it comes to issues of public health for which there are political and commercial interests. This is why such examination was undertaken regarding the American Cancer Society CPS2 analysis of air pollution, the most influential study of small particulate air pollution, particularly a Pope study. Because the geographical location is a key component of the analysis, there is no way to de-identify the data. The geographic address is the key to the analysis. Releasing the data publicly would expose American Cancer Society to charges of unethical practice. It's hard to imagine an institutional review board that would sanction the release of data in which names and addresses are included. Instead, in order to remove potential bias from those with special interests, the Health Effects Institute in Boston, an independent nonprofit organization that deals with scientific research on air pollution, was chosen to oversee an independent analysis. The group solicited applications to reanalyze the Pope et al. Study as well as the Harvard Six City study. The University of Ottawa, led by Dan Krusky, was selected. The replication project closely examined the data quality and independently replicated the analysis really to the third decimal place in almost every single analysis. It was amazing to be part of that, to see the incredible job that was done by Harvard University and by Dr. Pope and Brigham Young. So there have been a number of publications based on these reanalyses. And I think if we look at federal data standards for the release of microdata, the last time I looked, it's in aggregations of 60,000 or more per geographic unit. Many of the metropolitan areas in the ACS have far less than 1,500 people represented, so you would redact probably somewhere in the order of half the data before you even could get access to it. So my major point is that these are very delicate data that could affect the lives of over 1 million people. They cannot be released publicly without a great deal of scrutiny and through the proper review processes, and that's for the ACS to decide, I think, because they're the ones that have gone to the trouble of collecting the data.
So let me just comment that there's certainly many people in the world worrying about sharing of data, access to data, privacy, confidentiality, and I think we'll have to see what happens where ACS moves. They're starting a third study that may be very important, and I think these are big, broad issues not solvable before long.